Welcome everybody to part 2 of Black Panther. It is I, the Stepson of Krypton, doing a quick cut in here. I don't want to do a very long intro because I want to get you onto the second part of Black Panther. Again, let us know what you think about doing a two-parter like this, if this works for you, if it was just something that you'd just rather see it all be one piece. But this movie is so good that I felt like I needed to bring more of us discussing it, reacting to it, and just clips of the movie that I could while staying in the fair use, as I said at the end of the last one. So, guys, I'm not going to keep rambling on. We're going to get right into it. I hope you enjoy Black Panther Part 2. Let's go.
I'm not a spy who can come and go as they so choose. I am loyal to the throne.
She got an ass on her. Okay, cut that.
Oh, I'm leaving that in.
Tony, it's a Temple of Doom, yo.
Kalima. They bury him a little too deep. He doesn't come back.
See, it's like he knows what he's doing.
Abba.
It's like he knows all the rituals, everything.
Now, my brother. Who is this man?
He's a friend of T'Challa's. He saved my life.
Who is Okoye?
Okoye is not coming.
This is awkward.
Allow the heart-shaped herb to give you the powers of the Black Panther. And
What are you doing? Burying you.
Burying you.
It's concrete. They didn't tell him.
Zombie! Well, no wonder he's fucked up.
So where are they at with that old ass freaking tube television?
I'm just so confused at what he's doing.
What did I tell you about going into my things? No tears for me?
Everybody dies.
Damn.
Life in the hood. Motherfucker is built.
Yeah.
He's ripped as fuck.
He's playing Apollo Creed's son, man. He's got to be.
Mm-hmm.
Another king. When I tell you to do something, I mean that shit.
Oh. I mean, can I get one of those before you burn it? Like, if that's what's gonna happen. Please tell me this is the music as he's entering the throne room.
It is.
I know how colonizers think, so we're gonna use their own strategy.
Here's the colonizer shit.
The world's gonna start over, and this time we're on top.
Heart-shaped herb? What is that?
It gives whoever takes it heightened abilities.
Not gonna lie, I kind of love it that he's just tagging along, right?
I know.
He's so out of place. It's awesome.
I know. These people probably never seen a white dude, right? They're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Couldn't help but notice the Quincy Ocean part. Did you just refer to me as white devil? This is how they know you. Leave that part out.
I couldn't help but notice that Iquinsu Orcha part. Did you just refer to me as White Devil?
This how they know you.
Leave that part out from now on.
My son.
Oh. Oh, okay. I thought she was going somewhere different with that.
It's fair.
Yes,
So
but
it was less a murder than a defeat.
do not rub our noses in
Silence. I make the pronouncements.
Silence.
Look, Silence! Your Highness, the new king is a U.S. The new king.
What the fuck?
You know, he was being respectful, right? Like that was a really bad scene if you're looking at it, right? Like,
Yeah.
what did that just showcase?
Great gorilla Mbaku.
Come with me.
Impossible.
Nakia, the herb.
Now, why wouldn't this dude just take that flower for himself?
I think because, and I could be wrong, but I think he respects that they did battle and he won, right? He beat him fair and square.
Heal him.
Could be wrong, but I think he's respecting that.
I think you're right. I think it's more of a tradition thing versus some outsider coming in, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, but I mean, to be fair, the outsider coming in is Wakandan, and he did beat him fair and square. So,
right, you're right.
Kamaku.
Dude is fucking huge, man.
the other guy,
Yeah.
yeah, he's. I don't want to say he towers over Chadwick Boseman, but I mean, he's a big guy.
He's a big motherfucker.
All of you are wrong.
I must right these wrongs.
That was fucking fast.
Killmonger has the full support of our military.
His unit used to work with the CIA to destabilize foreign countries. They would always strike at transitions of power.
Imagine that. They're actually admitting what the CIA does in this movie. Like, we don't do this shit across the country. Sorry. Just had to point that out.
Their suit.
That's his sister, right?
Yes.
The Black Panther lives.
The Quinsuacha.
Don? Are you Don?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling this guy, right? I'm like, I'm with this guy.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Thank you. I owed you a great debt. A life for a life. Consider it paid.
I do have to say, how far does that force field go? Because
so I was gonna wait to talk about that till the end of the movie, but that's bothering me, right? Because they're in mountains, right? Like there's snow.
Yeah. Well, and there were other tribes, right? That you would have to assume that they're kind of further away. Like, how fucking far does this go?
No, I mean, is it like you look out the door and there's the other tribe right there, and there's one right there? Like they're all within a quarter-mile radius of each other. Like,
right. Right.
That's what I'm struggling to understand. It doesn't make sense.
We'll strike there first.
He won that guy by killing his.
Yeah.
Sonic cannon, powerful enough to stop a tank. The world's gonna find out exactly who we are.
Pilot error? Oh.
He leaves.
Oh, well, now everything's okay?
What's up?
that's a response.
I'm the king now. Get those planes in the air. Carry out the mission.
Seems very inefficient, but okay.
No.
Shoot it now.
Copy that. Go, 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 go.
Wakati, man, kill this clown. For the tribe!
That was a quick turn.
Right?
Come on.
Ayo, the king!
Shield wall.
Cool. I mean, what kind of general is she if she can't control her army? Or maybe it's like the Praetorian Guard? Is that kind of what it is? Like the King's Guard, like she just controls a specialized unit supposedly to guard the king.
Yeah, like because like he's I guess leading that one tribe, right?
Him?
Like, yeah, him. He's saying, hey, this is our tribesmen people. We're going after them. So I think it's all the segregation, ironically, that is that a recognized rhino? Oh, okay. No, it's just okay.
Yeah, they just have armor on.
I was like, is that some arc shit?
What the?
Nakia and I will get control of the royal talon with this.
So what do I do?
You'll have to fly it. Don't worry, I'll guide you through it. It's just like riding a hoverbike.
I've never done that.
Here, take that.
He's a stiff.
Just put it on, it's armor.
That ain't armor. Well, I take it back. If it has the vibranium in it, it is. But
it's like theirs. It's a flat. I mean, it's only got like padding in the areas. Obviously, you still need to be able to freaking move. It's not like his suit made of vibranium, but it's completely flexible or iron made.
He just fucking killed that bitch. Yeah, he's got super speed and powers and shit. You do not.
A vibranium suit.
Okay. I want some of those.
Right?
I made it American style for you.
What? It's like a video game. You know, what's funny is this shit like that, piloting shit like that is actually kind of what's happening now. Well, I mean, like a lot of the U.S. Air Force, they're going to non-manned aircraft.
Oh, yeah, the UAVs. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have somebody just sitting in a seat controlling it.
Yep.
Okay, Fury, I got him. What do I do?
Shoot them down, genius!
Not to be a bitch about it.
All right, got him.
What'd you think was gonna happen?
Roll credits, the end.
This is why you use your guns on one when you sneak up on them and then shoot your missile at another one. Oh, shit. Why are you getting so close?
Yeah, I mean, why would you get that close? Oh, damn.
Well, good thing those ain't gonna do shit.
Right? I mean, bullets and shit are plus, he's just absorbing the kinetic energy, so.
Never be a true king.
Oh, shit.
That's a long fall.
I mean, can they die? Since falling is, you know, I mean,
well, no. I think vibranium absorbs, like his suit, it's absorbing kinetic energy, and also, so like when he's falling, that energy from the impact, I think it absorbs it. Like it's kind completely shock-proof or completely whatever resistant. They talk about Captain America's shield.
On the bottom
Maybe.
The stabilizers won't deactivate your suit. You won't have protection.
Neither will he.
Okay.
Oh, so it interferes with the suit.
Yeah, the field that she has for the train, because they said they can't ship vibranium at that high of speeds.
Kill you. Your reign is over. You set up here safe and protected.
You want to see us become just like the people you hate so much.
I'm not gonna lie, I would bang either of those chicks.
Yep.
Hologram.
Ah!
Bro, you have to get out.
Oh, nope.
Put me back in.
Bro!
Surrender now! You have 3 seconds to lay down your weapon. 1!
Uh-oh.
Here comes the dogs.
You guys ready to let the dogs out?
Witness!
You ready to let the dogs out? What? Do what? Let the dogs out. You know, like, who let the dogs out? Who?
The might of the Jabari! First time!
Oh, shit.
It's the Battle of the Bastards.
I know.
No suit for you.
Mass integrity is at 15%.
Fly him into the side.
The last cargo ship is almost at the border, but they got me trapped with some kind of cables.
I connected the arms.
Sonic overload initiated.
Now break it.
Why does he have to do that? Why can't he just... Why is there
It's like
just
a
a
Power
button?
Rangers move, man. You
Oh,
just bam,
okay.
You know, like when you morphed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bitch, you better fucking shoot it.
He's gonna
and
take
get
them
out.
down and then die, or
Yeah. Okay, he just ran around. Oh, he's dead. How is that fair? Like,
he's like, shit.
Drop your weapon.
Would you kill me, my love?
For Wakanda.
sorry, bro.
It wasn't bad.
I'm sorry. He would be dead instantly from that, by the way.
Oh, you got to imagine the herb is doing something, right? Like it's prolonging this.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
It allows you one last monologue.
My pop said Wakanda was the most beautiful thing you ever seen. You believe that? Kid from Oakland running around believing in fairy tales.
You are tearing the
What?
wound.
Oh wait, it didn't kill him? Or maybe he's just showing him Wakanda before he dies? Like...
Oh, the beautiful sunset.
Ah. Why don't you take him to the lab?
Putting those vibranium fucking ball bearings in there.
I know.
It's beautiful. Maybe we can still heal you.
taking your sweet time.
Why?
Has he still got the fucking knife in his chest?
No, I think it's out.
Oh, okay.
Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Nope.
no,
He
it
still
is.
had it in his chest. All right.
Sorry, you would not be able to do that, but okay.
Thank you. You saved me.
It was my duty to fight for what I love. I should have.
There you go.
Get
How
in
fucking
on
down.
Can't blame me. I almost died.
that.
Stay. I think I know a way you can still fulfill your calling.
I hear you, T'Challa.
Yeah. For real, all the shit he's been through.
He deserves it, right?
For real. Back in Oakland. He traveled.
He did. But I like how they had the nerdy kid with glasses have that crossover. Like,
I know.
I thought you meant Coachella or Disneyland. Why here?
picture of Oakland.
They're tearing it down.
Yeah, not tearing it
He
down.
bought it.
I bought this building.
That's a Tony Stark move right there.
And that building
That's a Bruce Wayne move.
I bought the bank.
Yeah.
I bought the bank. Now, Kia will oversee the social outreach. You will spearhead the science and information exchange.
Man, what the hell is that? That's like a Bugatti spaceship.
The Bugatti spaceship. The hell is a Bugatti spaceship?
We under attack! Run for your lives!
Right?
Pull up to school in this? Hey, look, we can break it apart, we can sell it.
Really?
He said we could break it apart and sell it.
They're running a chop shop?
This yours? Who are you?
All right, so what were your thoughts?
Better than I thought it was gonna be, honestly. I don't. So it was pretty long. I will say that there
That's what she
were.
said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it necessarily needed to be that long of a movie, but I mean, it was pretty good. I gotta say. I mean, I thought it was gonna. I don't know. I thought I didn't really have any expectations through it, but the pacing was pretty good. There were some lulls, but the fight scenes were good. The technology was good. There were a few little woke moments, but honestly, there were like it didn't detract from the movie. Like in my opinion, I thought it kind of made sense. You know, the plot made sense. You know, the acting was pretty good. Yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it, quite honestly, surprisingly.
I'm gonna say I have to say the same, right? Like I was kind of shocked. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. I'm with you. The woke moments. It doesn't bother me, right? It's not gonna. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I thought it might have.
Yeah.
I was worried going into it that maybe there would have been a lot of those, but honestly, they're like, it's fine because there were just more of it. I have to it deals with me is the timeline and how everything incorporates into the rest of the MCU. Is probably my only issues because it seems a little convoluted, but the movie itself was good. Like I mean, it was good. I will say the difficult part for me was with Michael B. Jordan being the villain. Like
Yeah.
I said at the
Do you-
beginning, like I sided with him, right? Like I was like, why aren't they
Yeah,
helping
yeah.
out other people? Like other, if
Right.
you're in Africa, right? Like you're in this small little dome. There's a lot of other. I mean, it's, the
So
capital of slavery right there is actually there.
right.
So why aren't you? And that's what he was fighting for. So it's kind of hard to hate him like as a villain.
Well,
He's like an
here's the
anti-hero.
thing. Right. So here's the thing. And it's more, and I don't know the word for it, but if you see Wakanda as the US, because you got to think when this movie came out, it was probably written when Donald Trump was coming into power in the US, right? When he got elected, and the whole build the wall thing. If you kind of view it that way, where Wakanda is the U.S. and they've been holding out, they don't want outsiders in, they don't want to share their resources. There's those tropes through the movie. So I mean, that's the way I viewed that part. Not necessarily in a bad way, I mean, like you were saying, if you look at it in a microcosm, if you don't look at it that way, then it's fine. But I get where they're coming from, and the whole hope springs eternal, and they want to share their resources with the world. It's all good-hearted, and it does make sense, and it's you want to believe in that, and it makes you want to believe in those type of virtues and those things. But this is coming from when you have a leader like. And I forget his name, the Chadwick Boseman's character. He has this moral guidance that Michael B. Jordan's character didn't have. His intentions were Michael B. Jordan's character's intentions were good. It's just his method was wrong, right? Like he wanted to oppress because he said, I mean, he mentioned it a few times, but the main one was, if there's only conquerors and the conquered, right? And we want to be the conquerors. Chadwick Boseman characters, was like, well, there's a better way, right? And that is true. There is a better way. If you have the power and you are benevolent, it's different. But it's, unfortunately, it's more of the case where people in power are succumb to that power. It's you don't have any benevolent dictators. There's no such thing, at least in the real world. At least in this fantasy realm, of course, you want to believe that would be the case, but it isn't, unfortunately, in the real world.
The one thing I'll say about the movie, though, kind of going off what you're talking about, is the thing I think it shows, and I wish, and I can't say it for certain because I don't know, but I wish more people took that lesson from this movie, is more of you're two sides of the same coin, right? Like you both want this goal, but you have two completely different ways of going about it, where you had like King T'Challa, and they were like, no, we're going to stay hidden from the world. We're going to do this and save our resources. They don't need vibranium. And you had him who, he was the villain, but he had good intentions, right? He wanted to help other people outside of Wakanda. So you have two people with a goal of wanting to do good, just different ways of going about it. And at the end, I think they both learned something, right? They're both like, hey, both of us had good intentions, but bad execution, and we came and we found a middle ground, and that's what it needs to be in real life, right? Like, we need all sides to come together and realize there's a middle ground, and it's not a war between the sides. It needs to just be hey, this is where we need to be. You think it should be this way, I think it should be this way. Let's come together and kind of mutually split. I think that movie it does a good job. Like I said, it does a better job than I thought it would have, or I guess I should say was expecting it to. And
there's underlying, there's underlying tones of all of that, and kind of going back to strictly what happened in the movie, the pacing, the action, the contents of the movie. it's better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know about the second movie, like the sequel. I know they have, but this was pretty good, and it's going to suck because again, Chadwick Boseman, what's his name?
T'Challa. King
T'Challa.
I think the dad was T'Chaka, and then he's
Okay.
T'Challa. I could be wrong. Please don't crucify me in the comments if I got that backwards or wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
It sucks he's not going to be in he's not going to be in the other movie or any feature Marvel movie. That's kind of really sucks because again I do like both characters. Like I thought Michael B. Jordan did a great job as the villain, and kind of like he became the villain because of his environment, right? Like and it's true. You growing up in Oakland in the shit, like in the shit, that's going to shape who you are. Whereas, T'Challa is growing up in this high society with honor and all of these, things and nurturing environment. It makes him who he is. It's completely true, right? Like no one is born the way they are. Like they learn shit from things around them.
Well, yeah, but also not only is, Michael B. Jordan's character growing up in that, but Chadwick Boseman's father, character's father killed his dad. So it's like now he's grown up without a dad. He's grown up with all this, and he still, again, he had a virtuous mission. Like, his mission was at heart, at its core, was good. He wanted to help other people more so than just Wakanda. But then, obviously there's the corruption, the power, and everything that leads to, and all of that. So let me ask you this question, just because I feel it's important for if we decide to watch the second one or not, which I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I had no intentions of ever even looking at the second one. But after watching the first one, I check it out. Like, this was a good movie. I mean, it was if I would watch this instead of Captain Marvel, I think things would have been different. But Captain Marvel just kind of it put me in a bad tone. So I'm glad we actually took the time to watch this movie because I actually did like it, to be honest.
I feel like they were pushing Captain Marvel a lot more too than Black Panther, which is a shame. And maybe maybe they weren't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just what I saw, but it feels like they were pushing Captain Marvel a lot more than Black Panther, and it is a shame because this movie destroys Captain Marvel in my opinion.
100%. But let me ask you this question, because with what happened with Chadwick Boseman, would you have rather for the second one see King T'Challa or Chadwick Boseman's character recast, or do what they did where they just cut it out?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I get both sides. I don't know. Like, I would have to watch it. If you know what I mean. Like, if I watch the second one and it's done okay and it's done right, and what, then I'm fine with it, right?
Yeah, I guess so. What I mean is more of the before you see it, right? When they announced it, is it more of a tribute to Chadwick Boseman and the job he did to cast somebody else and keep the character alive? Or is it more of a tribute to let it die with him and cast somebody else to play a different role, right?
Right. I mean, in the case of the Black Panther, right, that is the King of Wakanda. It is a title, per se, right? Kind of like Green Lantern, right? There's multiple Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
There can be multiple Black Panthers. So in that sense, it's not that big of a deal if they recast him. But if they're recasting T'Challa, then maybe, right? Maybe that is an issue. This close. Like, it's different if they're doing a reboot type of thing, then that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But if they're literally like, oh no, this is the direct sequel to this movie, and they're recasting T'Challa, then I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but in the storyline,
And that's where you go with it, right? It's two sides, like, and you're on either one or the other. Like, for a lot of people, it was more of a respect that you keep the character alive, and you recast another, good black actor to basically take up the mantle, and
Mhm.
continue on his legacy, or you let it die with him. And honestly, after seeing this movie, I'm kind of torn. Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
would have been better, and it's probably not my place to say what would have been better, because like I thought he
Well,
did great in this role. I thought he did great in Civil War and in Endgame, but I don't know. Honestly, I can't answer that. And for everybody watching, let us know what you think. We'll kind of do a poll of the audience members here, whoever watches this video, and kind of what you think. Because I'm torn. Like, I don't know what would have been a better
yeah.
solution.
Yeah, again, for me, if they ended it and it's like, okay, well, T'Challa is no longer here. He got killed, or they just write him out of it, or whatever. That's fine, But if they're gonna say, well, then in that case, well, there's another Black Panther, and this is the new Black Panther. I'm fine with that, But recasting in the same universe at the same time without a reboot, I just don't like that idea. That's just me, though. And it's not necessarily has anything to do with respect to Chadwick Boseman. It literally is. It doesn't make sense in the timeline in the story of Black Panther.
Don't get me wrong. I am not a fan of recasts in the middle of whether it's
Yeah.
a trilogy or a TV show or something. Like,
Right.
when they recast Sarah Lance on Arrow, we watched from the
Exactly.
channel here, we watched Arrow season 1, episode 1 on the channel. Like, I like the girl who plays Sarah Lance going forward, like who took over the role, but I was not a fan of the recast, just because it was so weird. Like, you're just like, oh, hey, I
Right.
remember this. And now they went back in season 2 and they changed the scene to make it like, okay, yeah, that was a picture of her, even though it wasn't. I'm not a fan of recast. I don't know what would have been better in this situation, to just
Right.
obviously nobody knew this was going to happen. I was like, if you had him die in
Right.
Endgame,
No one was expecting him to die, right? Like, they
Yeah.
weren't, that's just, it sucks. It happens. So you can't write it in, right? Like, it's, I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
I haven't
It
seen,
will.
and I think it honestly, after the way this one went, and then also to kind of maybe answer some of these questions, it would be worth watching the second one just to see how they handle the situation, right?
Yeah. See if
Now,
it's as good as the first movie, right? Like,
because
I
I will
agree.
say I was completely surprised by this movie. Like, I did not think I would like it as much as I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yes, surprisingly, it's up there with a lot of good Marvel movies, better than several Marvel movies, quite honestly. Even contained, even if it doesn't involve any of the other MCU, right? Like, even if it has nothing to do with the rest of them, you just look at it on its own, like, as a superhero movie, it's pretty good. Like, it is pretty good.
No, because if we want to talk the timeline, I could chop the movie up a little bit, right? Because I'm still murky on some
Right.
things, and some
I
things I
mean-
think they didn't get right. But let's forget that, right? Let's move past the
Right.
timeline.
Right. There's still, like, we talked about it during when we were watching it, like, why, like, okay, if there's this force field around Wakanda, then how are there fucking mountains and snow tribes and desert tribes and other tribes? Like,
And plus,
the
when he got his
biodome can't be
powers
that big.
versus when he got the suit, because the suit you see him in the movie is the one he has in Endgame, right? It's the purple. It's the
Right.
the mask. Is like nanotech. He has the ability to absorb the kinetic energy, but that's not the one you see in Civil War, right? So, like, did they give him powers for Civil War and then they took it away again? The whole herb thing is weird, but again, it's I can look past it, right? Especially if you want to consider it on its own outside the MCU, it works. Right. Just you don't have to dig too heavy into comparing it into the timeline. But I did say in the beginning that was one of the things that made me leery about watching is it seemed like, again, you had this very planned out timeline, and then this movie kind of just came in and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I still think that's kind of true because the timeline is murky.
Right.
They cleared up some things, and I think they alluded to certain things with the timeline as far as like, oh, hey, yeah, this was this, and they referenced Sokovia and things like that, and that same guy stole it, and of course he has the weird arm after Ultron cuts it off. So they did okay. Could have been better, but again, I at that point I feel like that's a nitpick, right? Like if you're just grading the movie on itself.
Right. Yeah. I mean that's how I am. Like, because I mean, you're more tuned to the Marvel stuff than I am. Because I didn't even know that guy was in. I can't even remember him being in Ultron.
What the guy? The vibranium guy?
Andy's. What's his name? Andy's.
Gollum.
Yeah, Gollum. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that sells Ultron. Like, and Ultron tells him he's like, he goes to get the vibranium from him, and that's where I said he goes, it's worth billions, and he goes, now so are you, and all of a sudden billions pop into the guy's account, but then he cuts his arm off out of anger because he compares him to Tony Stark because Ultron says a line that Tony Stark had said, and he goes, Tony Stark used to, and he gets mad and he chops his arm off, like he like severs it, but that's that guy. That's
right. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, because I mean, don't even remember that. And I may have watched Ultron once or twice, if twice. Like, I know I've seen it, but the biggest thing from Ultron, I mean, is I'm fighting in that city that's flying and shit, and it's just like this is ridiculous type of stuff. But going back to Black Panther is like, again, looking at it as a contained thing, as a contained superhero movie, or even just a movie in general. I mean, I thought it was definitely worth a watch. If there's anyone who's like on the fence and they've not seen Black Panther, you should definitely watch it. I mean, we're only gonna be able to show parts of it in here, but if you watch the whole thing through, and again, it is pretty long. That's kind of one of the things I kind of picked at it about it being as long as it was. I feel like they could have shortened it down, and it's still been good and probably better. The pacing of the movie would have been a lot better. There would have been a lot of lulls in there, especially at the beginning, or not the beginning, but like the first and second act were kind of slow.
But you are introducing basically a whole new, I want to say world, but basically like, because up until that point, you've got no information hardly, because you had, in Civil War, you got small little bits, right?
It's hard to do. I know it is. You're right, because I mean you're introducing a whole new culture, new city, new technology, new like all of this stuff. I get it. It's just there were just lull parts, I guess.
No, 100%. It's different because like you want to see some of that stuff, but then again, too, you're like, all right, let's get on with it.
Let's go. We're
pacing over 2 hours. I will say though, for anybody watching, and if you stayed to watch all of this with us, thank you, and please, let us know what you thought about it. If you have not seen it, or if we touched on something, let us know in the comments down below. I'll go ahead and get it out of the way now. Consider, liking and subscribing. We'd appreciate it. But for anybody who's not seen it, or, maybe watched this reaction but hadn't seen it all the way through, that was on the fence like I was, I definitely give it a watch. It's worth at least that, right? I'm not saying
for sure
all the second one too, but it was good enough that it definitely deserves a watch.
I mean, it's if you put yourself through Captain Marvel, you should fucking watch this for sure. Like
you owe it. If you've watched Captain Marvel, you owe it to watch Black Panther. There should be no question.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think we are right now. Obviously, I'm going to cut this down, but we're about 2 hours and 43 minutes on this one. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it on up. But please definitely let us know what you thought about not only the movie, our reactions, questions, comments, concerns in the comments. And until then, Mantis, unless you have anything, we will see you guys next time. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.